love it. I love it. I love it. Look at this. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Hey, I'm not surprised.
Hey, what's poppin', my homies? What's good? Another UFC full card breakdown and predictions video. This one's going to be Arman Tsarukyan taking on Mateusz Gamrot. Now, before we get into breaking down this card, making predictions, doing all of that good stuff, we're going to look at the MoneyCity comments from the last UFC card. Now, a lot of people, man, kinda got dusted on Kyle Dorcas and Calvin Kattar. A lot of comments got dusted, but these are the best comments. So we've got Josh Shaw, Stamen, Yanez, Holland. Hey, that's MoneyCity. That's, you know, all of those guys got complete dusterations. You know what I'm saying? That's money. Now looking at Kelleher, I'm fairly confident in Jeremiah Wells. He hasn't lost a 3-rounder before and follows his game plans. I'm capping him around 70%, 75% with some respect to the cardio and chin of Court McGee. Man, 70%, that's minus 233 and 75% is minus 300. So yeah, Kelleher got a lot of plus EV on Jeremiah Wells and it smacked. It really smacked. And Jeremiah Wells kinda smacked the chin of Court McGee. That's beautiful capping. BB, Robocop is gonna knock out Julian. He really did. He really did. That's money. Hey, we got Chad Smith, the Chad of UFC GA. Okay. Oliveira, Buckley KO, Wells KO. It's money. Alright, my homies, let's break down this full UFC card. I'm not gonna lie, on the smoke break on this video, guys, I am gonna do a little rant. I've got to do the run. Alright, before we get to the smoke break though, let's make some predictions. Let's go. Alright, first matchup on this card, we've got Jinh taking on Vanessa Demopoulos. Now, Vanessa Demopoulos kinda went from working on the strip poles to, you know, working arm bars, triangles, rear naked chokes, all of that good stuff. She's all about that jiu-jitsu now. That's primarily what she's looking to do inside the octagon. Now, the problem that Vanessa Demopoulos faces in this matchup, Jinh is a pretty decent wrestler. She's not too bad at grappling. You look at what Kay Hansen done to Jinh in her UFC debut. That took more than one round, right? In round one, it was difficult to get Jinh to the mat. Against Loma Lookboonmee, this was kind of a mismatch. You know, Loma Lookboonmee was dusting her up in the Muay Thai clinch, you know, elbows, knees. Vanessa Demopoulos isn't going to do anything like that. When you look at her win against Gloria da Paula, Jinh took her to the mat. Then you look at her win against Ashley Yoder, which, you know, she did look pretty sharp. The hands looked sharp, but the opponent was Ashley Yoder. So how much stock do you really put into that fight? Essentially, you know, this is women's mixed martial arts. It is volatile. It can be toxic. My prediction, I'm going to side with Jinh. I feel like I'm picking against Vanessa Demopoulos rather than picking Jinh, but yeah, that's still going to be my prediction. Alright guys, moving into a matchup between Mario Bautista taking on Brian Kelleher. My prediction in this matchup, I'm going to side with Mario Bautista. I think he's fresher. I think he hits harder. I think he's quicker. I think he's bigger. I think he's more of a bantamweight than Brian Kelleher. You know, Brian Kelleher's getting on, man. He's nearly like 36 years old. And he's going in between weight classes, you know, moving from 45 to 35. You can't really be doing that. I know Mario Bautista got dusted by Corey Sandhagen and Trevin Jones, but Corey Sandhagen is on a different playing field. And Trevin Jones, like we know, this guy has big knockout power. I know Brian Kelleher has a lot of experience. He can grapple. He knows how to do it all, but if he strikes with Mario Bautista, I think Mario is going to tee off on him. Maybe find a TKO if he can catch Brian clean. If it's a striking matchup, I think Mario is going to look good. So yeah, that's going to be my prediction in this matchup. Originally, I was thinking, you know, Brian Kelleher has the experience to win this one. But if it's striking, it's going to be Mario. Alright, moving into a matchup between Cody Durden taking on JP Buys. My goodness. So both of these fighters, man, they're not that good. Right? They're really not that good. But if I had to pick between these two guys, I'd have to pick Cody Durden. And in all honesty, you know, like the first matchup on the card, Jinh and Vanessa, I feel like I'm picking against JP rather than picking Cody. You know what I'm saying? When you look at JP Buys in the UFC debut against Bruno Silva, his striking defense, man, terrible. He couldn't take a shot either. Then you look at the matchup against Montel Jackson. He did take the back in round one, but apart from that, dominated, couldn't take a shot, out-grappled, IQ's terrible. And then you've got his ex-wife, like, slapping his ass in between rounds. Like, come on, man, JP Buys. If you don't win this matchup, you're getting cut. You're done for. On the flip side, you've got Cody Durden, who is a pretty good wrestler, who debuted against Chris Gutierrez on short notice and was able to wrestle a little bit. Then Jimmy Flick completely dusted him. Then he had a close fight against Shayilan. His grappling was successful at times in that matchup, especially late on. Against Muhammad Makayev, get dusted. Yeah, my prediction in this matchup, like I said, I don't really like either of these fighters, but if I had to pick between them, I'm going to pick Cody Durden. Alright guys, moving into a matchup between Raulian Paiva taking on Sergey Morozov. This is a difficult matchup to predict. When you're looking at who's the better kicker between these two guys, I think you'd have to give it to Raulian Paiva. When you're looking at who's fought better competition, who's got better cardio, who maybe believes in their strikes a little bit more, it's Raulian Paiva. I do believe though that if Sergey Morozov wants to win this fight, it would have to look something like his matchup against Khalid Taha, where he just wrestles the opponent. If he can lean on the wrestling, you know, continue to take Raulian Paiva to the mat, or just ground the opponent for 2 rounds out of 3, if he can do that, he can win this fight. On the flip side, you know, if we get more striking than grappling, right, I think Raulian Paiva's probably going to show his heart in that type of matchup. Like I said guys, this matchup is a difficult matchup. I'm going to side with Sergey Morozov to use that wrestling. And I just hope he does. Because if he doesn't and it's a striking matchup, Raulian Paiva may look good. He may kick Morozov in the head. My prediction is Sergey Morozov to use the wrestling to win this fight. Moving into a matchup between TJ Brown taking on Shayilan Nuerdanbieke. Now both of these guys are wrestlers. Right, TJ Brown's a wrestler, Shayilan Nuerdanbieke, this dude's a wrestler. Now if I said to you guys, look, they're both wrestlers, but if these two guys are going to kickbox, who are you going to take in a kickboxing matchup? If I said that to you guys, who are you going to pick? For me, all day, I'm picking TJ Brown to win that kickboxing matchup. So if I was making a prediction based on who's the better fighter, who's more well-rounded, I'd say TJ Brown isn't a striker, but in this matchup, he may be the better striker. So purely for those reasons, I'm going to side with TJ Brown to win this fight. I think Shayilan Nuerdanbieke kind of got tired against Josh Kulabau. I think against Sean Soriano, man, his hands didn't look too good, right? I think TJ Brown should win this fight. He's a better puncher, he's a better kicker. The guy can wrestle. So yeah, my prediction, I'm going to side with TJ Brown. Downtown Brown to get the win. Let's go. Alright, moving into a matchup between Tafon and Nchukwi taking on Carlos Ulberg. This is a decent matchup. Now looking at Carlos Ulberg in the UFC debut, horrible energy expenditure against Kennedy Nchukwi. Got dusted, right? Gassed out, got dusted. Against Fabio Cherant though, this was the complete opposite. If anything, he had like 60-70% of energy left at the end of that matchup. But it was nice to see a composed performance from Carlos Ulberg. You know, the calf kicks were good. The movement was good. Just the kicking game of Carlos Ulberg, you know, you could see that Izzy was his training partner. You could see that in the performance. Now for Tafon and Nchukwi, the UFC debut against Jamie Pickett, probably should have done a little better in that matchup, considering Jamie Pickett's not that good. Against Jun Yong Park, you know, wrestled in this matchup. Against Mike Rodriguez, he looked okay in this matchup, but again, I don't really rate Mike Rodriguez, so maybe should be doing a little bit better. Against Azamat Mirzakhanov, Tafon and Nchukwi was winning this fight, and for some reason his corner was like, "Hey Tafon, this is a video game." I don't know why his corner was saying that. Like, that's the kind of stuff you say when you smoke the blunt. You know what I'm saying? You smoke the blunt and you start speaking simulation theory. But his corner's doing it in between the fight, like in between the rounds. You can't be doing that. Anyway, that did happen, and Tafon and Nchukwi got dusted in the last round. Now, my prediction in this matchup, I'm going to side with Carlos Ulberg. I think the movement's good, the kicking's good. And Tafon, has he even woke up yet? You know what I'm saying? It was a bad one. That was a bad knee. My prediction is Carlos Ulberg. I think he's more composed. Maybe not more violent, but more composed. Alright my homies, you know what time it is. If you waited to smoke with me, amen. If you've been smoking this whole time, double amen. If you're not a smoker but you enjoy the smoke breaks, that's a triple amen gang, let's go. Now at the start of this video guys, I did say on the smoke break I'm gonna do a run. I'm gonna do that run, I have to do it. The UFC judges, right? Chris Lee, round 4, Josh Emmett. Stop it. Guys, here's the thing, man. If you go onto these other UFC channels, right, they're going to say, right, this is how we sort the judges. right? They're gonna give you all of their answers on how to sort the judges. And if you go to the comment section on, you know, Instagram or wherever you look, right, you're gonna go to the comment section, you're gonna see people say, how is Chris Lee a judge? How is Saudi Tomato a judge? Fire this guy. You're gonna see people say, you know, add 2 more judges. If we have 5 judges, it will be better. You're gonna see people say, you know, open scoring. If we do open scoring, it's gonna take away the problem. You might see people say, you know, why doesn't Dana White try to fix it? Why doesn't Dana White do something about the judging? You might see all of these comments. You normally do, right? Guys, you can take my opinion and you can disregard it, right? These guys ain't judges. They're not judges. I know you think they're judges, but they're not judges. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? If you had a weed dealer and the weed dealer said, I'm a businessman, that's sugarcoating it. If you had an under 16s football coach and he said, I'm a football manager, you're a PE teacher. You're a PE teacher. Don't sugarcoat it. Guys, the judges are not judges. That's their cover-up word. They're not there to judge the fight. Round 4, Chris Lee. That proves it. That proves it. If you're a judge and you cannot get round 4 correct, then I have no choice but to say you are not a judge. That's just your cover word. You're not a judge. So yeah, that's my opinion, right? The judges are not judges. They wear the suit, they wear the tie, they sit octagon side, but that's their way of deceiving the masses. You see what I'm saying? Everyone thinks they're actually judges. They're not actually judges. They're just, that's their cover word. That's their sugarcoating. And everyone says, you know, fire this guy, add more judges, do open scoring. Everyone says all of these things. They're not even judges. So yeah, guys, that's the truth of the matter. They're not really judges. And I know for some people, they might listen to this and you might think they're judges. Like, come on. Come on. They're not. I promise you, bro, they're not. Because listen to this, yeah, here's the thing. If the matchup is close, if the round is close, right, and you're thinking, my fighter maybe got that round, but it was a close one, I can kind of understand if the judge gives it to the other side. If you're thinking that, that's okay, right? The judge can go either way if the round is close. You can't argue. Even if you say my guy kind of won that round, but it was close. If you say that, then you can't argue. But if it's round 2, Macy Barber, Miranda Maverick, if it's round 4, Calvin Cater, Josh Emmett, the mistake is so obvious. It's so obvious that you blew your cover. You blew your cover. They're not judges. It's deception, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna tell you guys the truth, man. They're not judges. Stop calling them judges. Look at this picture. Tell me these 2 guys are judges. They're not judges, man. Look at their faces. They're rats. They're fooling everyone. They ain't fooling me though. They're not fooling me. Calvin Cater, Josh Emmett, round 4. You gotta be kidding me, man. It's a disgrace. Let's get into breaking down this main card. Let's go. I'm done raging. Alright, moving into a matchup between Chris Curtis taking on Rodolfo Vieira. Now, Chris Curtis is a better puncher. Chris Curtis is a better kicker. Chris Curtis has more experience. Chris Curtis has fought better competition. Chris Curtis is the more well-rounded mixed martial artist. You can make all the points for Chris Curtis to win this fight. You could make those points, make the bet, and it could be right. You know, that maybe is the better pick. But the 2 points that you can't make for Chris Curtis, which you're gonna make for Rodolfo Vieira, the 2 points, Rodolfo is a much better jiu-jitsu player. And Rodolfo is the only guy taking this fight to the mat. So that's really what you've got in this matchup. You know, you've got a better mixed martial artist in Chris Curtis, but if he gets taken to the mat one time, it could be over. It could be a wrap. And that's because Rodolfo Vieira is going to wrap up Chris Curtis, you know, armbar, triangle, rear naked, take the back. I feel like the logical prediction would be Chris Curtis for all the points that I mentioned. You know, the experience, the punching, the kicking, all of that. I think it would be Chris Curtis, the logical pick. I'm not picking the logical pick. I'm picking Rodolfo. I'm not going to bet it though. So yeah, take my prediction with a grain of salt. I think Chris Curtis is better. I just think Rodolfo is going to get the fight to the mat. And if he can get the fight to the mat, you've got the black belt hunter searching for your neck. I do want to mention also that Rodolfo Vieira is a bit of a gasser. You know, the cardio's not great. His jab looked pretty good against Dustin Stoltzfus. Is he going to have success popping the jab against Chris Curtis? Maybe for like a couple minutes. So my advice would be, if you're going to bet on this fight, don't lay too much money. Either side. You know, Chris Curtis could look really good. And then bang, submission. My prediction is Rodolfo Vieira. I just need one takedown. If we can get one takedown, we might get the win. Moving into a matchup between Nurmagomedov taking on Nate Maness. Now, Nurmagomedov is like, if you went into a lab and created a fighter that was close to, you know, being impossible to beat, I think you'd get Nurmagomedov. And the reason why I say that, if you look at the kicking of it's Wonderboy-esque, it's Garnet-esque. The kicking is unbelievable. Nurmagomedov is going to win this fight inside the distance. It could be a head kick. It could be a rear naked choke. It could be ground and pound. He's going to completely dust Nate Maness. And it's not a downplay on Nate Maness. You know, you look at Nate in the UFC. He's got a nice win against Johnny Munoz. He's got a nice win against Luke Sanders. He's got a nice win against Tony Gravely. But this is Nurmagomedov. It's not any of those guys. It's a different fight. It's a really difficult fight for Nate Maness. Nurmagomedov is going to stay undefeated in this fight. He's going to dominate this fight. That's my prediction. Alright guys, moving into a matchup between Thiago Moises taking on Christos Giagos. Now guys, I've never picked Thiago Moises to win a fight. I've never done that. In his whole UFC career, I've never picked this guy. But this time round, I am forced to pick Thiago Moises to win this fight. He's primarily a jiu-jitsu player that, you know, has evolved the striking, but the striking's not super good. He's a jiu-jitsu player. The reason why I'm going to pick Thiago Moises to win this fight, it's a big fade on Christos Giagos. I don't think Christos is UFC caliber, to be honest. I know he's fought some good competition. I know he can box, he can grapple. I just don't see him being UFC caliber. So the way I see this fight playing out, I think Thiago Moises might land some good calf kicks, some good body kicks. I think the 1-2s might land. And like I said, he's a jiu-jitsu player, so if he can get the fight to the mat, there might be a submission. Who remembers what he done to Michael Johnson? You know, rolled for the ankle, gets the win. This matchup really should be Thiago's fight. If he doesn't win this one, I'd be shocked. That's going to be my prediction. Alright, moving into a matchup between Josh Parisian taking on Alan Baudot. My goodness. Alright, let's not sugarcoat this one. Josh Parisian, one of the worst. Alan Baudot, one of the worst. Whoever loses this matchup has to leave the UFC. Man, I think even if you win this matchup, if you got cut from the UFC and you won this matchup, it would actually be less corrupt than allowing Chris Lee to judge fights still. You know what I'm saying? If you cut the winner, who's going to say anything? No one's going to say anything. Now, speaking about the careers of Josh Parisian and Alan Baudot, Josh Parisian got dusted in the UFC debut by Parker Porter against Dontel Mays. Hey, who remembers what Dontel done on the mat? Oh my goodness, why is he even getting another fight? Now, the opponent, Alan Baudot, his UFC debut, who was it against? Tom Aspinall. Right, that one we can excuse that one. Against Rodrigo Nascimento, man, it kind of looked like Alan could win that fight early on. You know, it looked okay. But then Rodrigo Nascimento starts landing his shots and Alan Baudot crumbles. Against Parker Porter, you know, kind of the same thing. Early on it looked good. Alan Baudot was landing his uppercuts, landing his shots. But then he kind of slows down, you know, Parker pushes him against the fence, takes him to the mat, and he kind of crumbles again. You know what I'm saying? So picking between Josh Parisian and Alan Baudot is kind of impossible. I don't want to pick anyone in this matchup. But if I had to pick, if you put the gun to the head and I had to pick, guess I'd pick Alan Baudot to win this fight. And it doesn't feel good making that pick. There's no real logic behind that pick. I just think he's a little bit better than Josh Parisian. Not that he's good. Maybe a little bit better than Josh though. Who knows? Alright guys, moving into a matchup between Magny taking on Shavkat Rakhmonov. My prediction in this fight, I'm going to side with Shavkat Rakhmonov. And the reasons why I'm going to do that. Is Magny going to fight for a title? Probably not. Is Shavkat going to fight for a title? Probably. Magny has a lot of experience, but is that going to count in this fight against Shavkat? Probably not. When you look at the ability of Shavkat Rakhmonov, you know, the striking is really clean, it's really beautiful. When you look at the combat sambo, the jiu-jitsu, it's beautiful. Shavkat Rakhmonov is like the future. And Magny, you know, he's got to get some respect in this fight. But if he tries to get that respect, might get dusted. I think a lot of people may look at the odds on Neil Magny and might take that shot, but yeah, I think it's a reach, man. I think Shavkat's going to dust him. That's my prediction. I took Shavkat against Cowboy Oliveira as an underdog. I couldn't believe he was an underdog. And now you've got the guy minus 400. You know what I'm saying? The skill's good. The striking's good. The grappling's good. Shavkat's going to win this fight. Alright guys, moving into the main event, we've got Arman Tsarukyan taking on Mateusz Gamrot. Absolutely the best fight on this card. The main event. It's probably going to get hijacked. Man, Chris Lee, somebody's got to uppercut Chris Lee. You know what I'm saying? Put Chris Lee and Francis in the octagon. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's got to uppercut that guy. Now, speaking about the fighters in this matchup, Arman Tsarukyan and Mateusz Gamrot are two of the best fighters in the 155 division. Arman Tsarukyan can do it all. He can punch, he can kick. The Muay Thai is beautiful. The grappling's beautiful. Mateusz Gamrot's the same way, you know. He can kick, he can punch. The wrestling's beautiful. The jiu-jitsu's beautiful. How do you really make a pick in this main event, man? This is a great main event. I think both of these guys could fight for a title at some point. Guys, I'm not going to lie. I think, you know, if all of the money is on Arman Tsarukyan and this fight is close, they're going to give the fight to Mateusz Gamrot. They're going to do that. So if I make the community poll and I see everyone picking Arman, if I go to my comment section and everyone's picking Arman, I'm not betting this fight. You know, picturing this matchup, I think it could be close. I think both guys could find success with the wrestling. Both guys could find success with the striking. It's going to be a close main event. Don't lay too much money on Arman. I think everyone's going to pick Arman in this fight. My prediction will also be Arman Tsarukyan. I'm going to slightly side with Arman Tsarukyan to be a little bit sharper. Alright, my homies, be sure to drop down your main event, your co-main event, your underdogs, Money City plays, 2-fight parlays, all of that good stuff. Drop it in the comment section below. And as always, keep your eyes to the sky and never glued to your shoes. Mac Miller. Alright, peace.